we want this to feel a little more natural. So just like maybe no
Yeah.
music leading, like just a natural. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the International Coaches Roundtable podcast. We are so excited to be sharing this episode with you guys. This is our finale for season 1. If you're confused by that, go back. There's a handful of other episodes you guys need to be checking out. But it's myself with Neha and Sasha, and my name's Elia. We have been co-hosting throughout the season with a handful of other co-hosts. We're going to kind of tell you a bit about what's going on with the podcast, but we're also going to talk to you a bit about some of the stuff we learned and give you guys some insight as to what is coming up in the near future. So stick around if you can, grab a drink. We're enjoying ourselves, just reminiscing on the last a handful of episodes we've gotten to do together. We just wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys. So thanks so much for being here. Neha, Sasha, how are you guys doing?
Yes, feeling so good. Doing really good.
Yeah, it's that we are having, for it's like a finale of season 1, and that's what we are doing. So we are celebrating today.
Yes, it's sentimental and exciting and fun and weird and fun.
Well, that's what I was really intrigued because, Neha and I came in after you, Sasha, had this sort of like brainchild idea where you launched this thing out to a podcast, or sorry, not a podcast. You launched the idea of a podcast out to this Facebook group. And I mean, the response was I thought it was pretty positive. And suddenly you were going, okay, we got to go, and then we started moving and decisions were made. And then suddenly now we're how many months later and we have, I think it's 12, 13 episodes
13,
up, something like that.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
So Sasha, I want to hear how you specifically are feeling, knowing that this started out as a thought.
Yeah.
Just randomly, and now you're on episode 13, 14, whatever the finale is. I'll check later. What are you feeling?
Gosh, wow. Thank you for even just asking that. I feel so overwhelmed with gratitude, for real. Like, number one, just the response in general right away after I had posted was so great, just to see how many life coaches were just like in it and interested in being and having those conversations with each other to uplift each other, inspire each other, and then also just like help other people in the world. It was just so like overwhelming to me to see how wonderful people are, really, and then also number 2, just now that we've completed season 1 and we've got you and we've got Naya and now it's me, we're thinking maybe we're going to bring on another co-host for the second season. We don't know yet. It's possible, but it's just
it could be you. Yeah.
So yeah, just knowing that I have this bond with you guys and you guys have just really brought it to life, and just you've been there, you've been committed, you've shown up. Like Elia, you showed up and you took on interviews by yourself. Naya, you were like pushing out artwork for Instagram. We had trailers come in each week. Like, we had awesome guests that we got to reach out to. I'm just so happy with it all. Like, I love it. I love how it turned out. So yeah, feeling really good. What about you guys? Yeah. Are you guys happy with what we've got started and excited for the second season?
Of course. Like I always say, somehow I manifested this, right?
Yeah.
Literally, I did it, Elia.
Elia, I don't believe you.
Podcast, and suddenly this girl posts on Facebook, and I just go crazy on Facebook. I still don't know how to work on Facebook, but somehow I thought, okay, let me reply onto it, and then she replied, and here we are. I'm like, okay, where did this come from?
Yes.
She's the Jenny out there. Here I am.
Yay.
Neha, thank you. I think thank you for all. I'm sorry. I should be kind. I'm sorry. I got a little snarky in me there, but I'm excited. I think this is cool. We were talking a bit before this about this kind of whole thing and bringing it together. There's this. Not everybody gets to create something.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really cool thing to be a part of. I think I come from a family of creatives, and yet somehow I didn't pick up any of their stuff. We're talking like canvas artists, woodworkers, musicians, things that like I just never quite got. And it's cool and humbling again to be a part of something that's some level of creation where we're coming together, putting stuff, throwing ideas around and working as a team. So it's a really cool opportunity to be able to do this, and to be able to learn a lot together, and then to have the support, because dumb things happen, right? You put the wrong video up with the wrong intro music or whatever it is.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah. And I think it was like up for 3 days
episode.
before I noticed.
But
like,
good.
that's cool. Like it was cool to be able to come back to the group and it'd be like, hey, it happens. Whereas if it was my own podcast, I'd have buried my head in the backyard, and just lost my mind about it. But so to be able to do the creative thing with people it's just a gift. It's a gift. Yeah.
Absolutely.
How we actually made Elia's life difficult with so many in the episode.
Yeah, the listening noises. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I do the editing, and so one, if you have a problem, go ahead and just don't email me. 2, if you noticed any jumpiness in any of the episodes, it could be because of all the
yeah, like they're really weird. Super not needing to sound sexual, but like on the verge.
But the whole time
very weird sound.
Like with these over-ear headphones, I'm uncomfortable.
The first episode, when I saw, Elia is...
Oh my gosh.
I got so confident. I was like, okay, let me do whatever I want to. He would fix it. We have the guy there, right? He would fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was...
Oh, yeah.
I never ever thought my voice would sound like that until I heard it, right? Until you pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm mortified! Like I'm mortified."
You're like, I have to live with this, okay? Yeah.
Maybe we should take that down. Yeah,
Just remove the whole episode.
Yeah, yes, but it's great that you're able to at least do some of the editing away from getting some of those noises out, because whatever, we're not going to be perfect.
No, exactly. And I think that's the other piece of the piece of the project that became super fun was how not only did we and obviously our other co-hosts who we have Brooke and we have Alex who helped out so much early on. Everybody got better and better in this process of kind of watching themselves and hearing themselves and not having to use space fillers, which to me just speaks to the confidence and to the, like, even though I just threw an right? Normally I would have done 5 uhs by then, and we're able to actually communicate a little more effectively through the conversations that we have. And the people that we bring on, it's interesting to watch them. As the guy who's editing, I get to watch them start with a certain number, sort of like certain cadence of space fillers, and then end on this like extreme intense passion with no space fillers.
Wow.
Right? Where you can see them coming to life throughout the episode as they come more into themselves. And I think that was the coolest part about the whole show, this whole season, was being able to watch life coaches who care deeply about what they do come to life.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. I couldn't have said that better. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love the start, this thing, particularly in this journey, is that, we had this intention to give back to the community. And we know in our heart that, we really wanted to help people. And I'm sure we would have touched some people out there, right? And that is great. And other than that, as a person, as an individual, and this is coming from my heart right now, I just find this project so uplifting for me. There are few things which just raises your vibrations all the time, right? And it is one of it. And clearly the credit goes to you, to you both, and Brooke and Alex as well, right? They have...
And you.
Really. Oh, thank you. Right? Because
yes.
I love it. I get excited.
Are you sending her the credit?
Yeah, just come on, take it.
It's like,
that work? You just push away credit like that? Like,
So that's how you give it. You
gotcha,
give
you're
it.
giving it.
yeah. It's like, that has been very uplifting that even though as a life coach, we need our support system, because being a life coach doesn't mean that we are perfect. And you guys have been there without realizing you have been doing your bit, in everybody's life.
Mhm.
That is like a most beautiful thing. So this has been something which has been really exciting for me. Honestly, I did not imagine it to be like this. I was like, okay, we're going to launch episodes, we're going to do this, do that. But then it is giving me a different feeling altogether, and I'm loving it.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh my goodness,
That,
that's
yeah,
really
I would
cool.
100% agree with that sentiment. The idea of like what I expected
Yeah.
was definitely not as high as it is, right? Like the gift that gets
Yeah.
received out of this is so much more than I even imagined at the invitation. Because it very much felt like, okay, who wants to do more work? Like that felt like the invitation. Sorry, Sasha, that was the invitation.
Was
And
it?
a little bit, like who wants to add more stuff?
Yeah,
And all
because
of
I
us
like to
who
give
kind
it.
of yeah, here you
Yeah.
go, take it, everybody. Um, but the ability to be in it and to just, I mean, there's just so many conversations this season that were, I mean, just powerful, I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
was just moving, that went off the rails in the most meaningful way, and so I think it's just interesting how um, this began as sort of a thing, but and even if like we've always said, if one person sees this and it helps one person, phenomenal. And the ability to be able to do this in any way has been great. So I do
Yeah.
want to ask you guys. I'm going to ask you and put you on the spot because it's
Mm-hmm.
late on our end,
Yeah.
and we might get some stuff jumbled up. So if that's the case, anybody out there, please forgive us. I'm curious. Did anybody have an episode for you like that? I would guess that you were a host on that you particularly remember as kind of being something that felt like powerful, moving, meaningful
Mm.
for you? Was there like an episode for you as a host?
Mm.
Sasha,
Well,
why don't you tell us about one of yours?
yeah, for sure. I just realized I had that sound again. So
Yeah, you
I
did
was like,
it, but I'm not going to
yeah.
edit this time because we've named it at the beginning, so now I don't have to edit any of them. Everyone can
Okay,
hear them and
awesome.
laugh about them. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
And plus I also named it, that like I did it and then I named it, you know what I mean?
it's
So
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there were actually, I mean, there were a few, I'm sure you guys feel that too, that there was a
Oh,
few
yeah.
that really moved you. So it can be difficult, like looking back and thinking, oh gosh, which one is the one, that really did it for me. But I really feel like Donenfeld,
Mm-hmm.
Deb Donenfeld.
Yeah.
That episode with her and me and Naya was just so good for me. Like when she went through some of her personal experiences of, like losing everything, right? And just like
Mm.
having the rug just pulled out from underneath her. And then the message that she gave to the viewers, just about, how to lean into some of those soft skills that you have when you are going through such a hard time, and that it's going to be okay. Like it was just so, it was like you could take that with you no matter who you are and where you were in your life. I mean, she specialized specifically with like women in their mid 50s, I think, or I think
Mm.
right,
Yeah.
or midlife. And I connected with her, and I'm 30, however old I am. I'm only 30.
You're like 30, mid 50s.
I'm
Like,
only 30. No, yeah, I'm 35. My gosh, 35. Wow, that's amazing. But anyway, yeah, so I connected with her even though I was not in my mid 50s, So I loved that episode. I
yeah.
loved her. She was great. That was a good one for me. What about you guys?
For me, there were a couple of episodes. So I think that was with Elia. Yeah, with ST. Elia, it was you and me,
Oh, that was a
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
one. I love
That
that
was a good
one.
one.
that episode.
That
And
one.
thing that I learned and I still remember, and I keep talking about it. When she
Mm.
explained about your piece of happiness, and she was explaining that snowfall, that she's a kid. Remember that? It was so beautiful,
Yeah.
right? It was so beautiful.
Oh
And
my gosh, what is that? What was it that what a snow?
Angel, I thought.
yeah,
It wasn't
so
that.
she
It's not.
said that, you
It's,
have to find
but I
that.
don't.
It's just my freaking Midwest brain right now. Snow angels, duh. Like,
Snow Angel. Yeah, for real, I get it. But go ahead, Naya, continue. I absolutely am on board. I remember that. That was amazing. Keep going.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was beautiful. And then, of
Yeah.
course, with Deb. And then there was another episode. I wasn't the host, and I think Elia, you and Alex were there. I'm forgetting the name, but it was about creativity balance with music. There was a
Stop. That you're stealing mine. That's not even fair.
Jana Cole.
I was literally going, I was like, I'm really
and that was beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about right. So yeah, that was like my thing. And before I forget this, I also want to tell one thing that there was something that I learned from you guys, and you taught me unintentionally, and I literally spoke to a couple of people and I mentioned it that I think I have learned it from them, because
okay.
time. Yes. So Sasha, I like, the way I like your commitment towards things, She has that. She has that. Oh, yeah, you should feel like that. I love that. I love the energy that she puts in. And I always tell her, oh, I just get so energetic when I look at your videos. I'm like, oh my God, that's like it gives that adrenal rush. And so a couple of times I noticed one thing, like while we are in a meeting, and definitely we lose the track on time, we are really terrible in managing it. But you are one person, I have seen you so committed in terms of your timelines. You have your healthy boundaries. And I love that. I came out of one of our recordings and I came and I told Umesh about it that, I love that. I like commitment he has towards his own stuff as well. He's not answerable to anyone, but he still does it. And I think I would like to adopt that quality. So, yeah, so it was not just the guest out there. Every time I talk to you, I learned it. So,
And she was raving about that, like with me in like another conversation too. I remember we talked and I was like, yeah, I know he's great, right? Like he's like
and I like that.
stickler. He's a stickler. He's like, it's a hard cut.
Here's what's so funny about this is you guys might be the only two people on earth who work with me on anything who have ever thought he is phenomenal with timelines. Like,
wow.
but it's because you do the years of loose timelines and you see the consequences, and at some point you're like, I'm done, I'm out. I'm gonna just start, and everything has to be on my Calendly, please.
We have a teacher
Yes.
without us going on the same path of losing all the timelines and just screwing up the thing. So at times you don't have to go through the same journey. You can just learn it from people out there. So we learned it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm super glad that was good. Yeah, because look, I want to be annoyed that you brought up Jenna Cole, but Jenna Cole is, look, sorry to every other guest out there. If you didn't listen to the episode with Jenna Cole, that's on you. She set the bar. I mean, there was something, it was one of those ones where it felt, and maybe I just really resonated with the content of the conversation, maybe just with Jana, but there was just something there that was just for me so raw, so authentic, so like deeply connected with herself, that was just so comforting by being nearby. I felt like I was being co-regulated in the conversation with her. And even the conversation, this is the thing I brought this up to so many people where I'm like, you understand there's these like underground music groups of people who play music from like the 1400s. Jana Cole's one of them, you know what I mean? And I might have gotten the year wrong. Sorry, Jana. But it was one of those ones where the audacity, the absolute sheer audacity to not only be interested, curious, skilled, but willing to find a group of people who are interested in such a specific thing in order to build connection and create a beauty that may or may not ever be experienced by anyone other than the people in the room. That speaks to my like artist heart, where I'm like, this was, you're doing something purely for the sake of adding something to the world that you will never ever get affirmation for. And there's such a truth in that I thought was powerful. And man, yeah, she was fun to interview. Just learn a lot just through the dynamics and the conversation. What I loved is also, here's what I'll say, and then I'll stop soapboxing about Jana. She was a babe. And
we love her.
Love you, Jana. And she had this really, to me, it was inspiring to hear her speak about her family.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has family drama, and I'm no different, right? And yet it was convicting in a good way and challenging to hear her speak so well of her family, while still communicate some of the hurt that was involved in the experience. Yep. And to honor her past and honor her feelings simultaneously. She didn't have to resort to any sort of pettiness, any sort of passive aggression, any of the tools that seemed to be in my tool belt, all the time, right? It was just, that was a very cool, just Jana Cole. Guys, go find Jana. Go make her life better.
She's so great. She's such a good person too. Like, I got the pleasure of being able to like coach swap just for fun and experience with her. Probably I think we did like 4 sessions. We swapped practices back and forth, and she was so good. Like, she took me on like deep levels of myself, and she had so much knowledge that I just felt like it was like something was being nurtured in me that I had not had for a while. Like, I felt like I was getting nurtured in some way, like my soul was, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know, but she's just a really cool person. Yeah, I second that. Third that.
Yeah. And I want to reiterate, obviously, every guest we brought on the show, phenomenal, because that's why we brought them on the show.
Right.
But look, Jana, like, what are you going to do? Jana, everybody else just got to get over it. All right. Someday you'll be there. Someday we'll be there. But she was just a stellar guest. She was awesome.
We're going to have to we're going to have to post, like, bring some clips in or something right here. And just like, some flashbacks here. We're talking. It's going to happen.
It's got okay. Now you're telling the editing guy he's got to do more work. It's just maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, we'll put that on social media.
There you go. Yeah. Take it.
Take it. Oh my goodness.
So I want to hear from you guys then. So obviously, great interviews, great people we love to be connected with. We got stuff on the horizon that we're trying to like kind of work through. There's some new creative pieces that we're trying to like get a grip on, and like maybe direction. How do we want to form conversations? Who are the kinds of people we want to invite on? I'm curious as we go into this next, this window of time of like creation, asking questions, evaluation, as a team who's trying to evaluate their project and do well at it. For you guys, what kicks up as we go into this sort of break / reinvention / getting ready for season 2? I'm curious, like what kind of kicks up for you? Like, what's the stuff that you would love to see changed, or maybe what's the stuff that you would hate to see go? I don't know. It's a very open, loose question. So what's kicking up in you? What's going on?
Well, just maybe ask it one more time. Just one more.
If you guys weren't sure about what I was trying to get across,
just
come on,
I know. Oh man, I don't know, Elia. There's just so much. Like,
that's why I asked it so many times, so you'd have time to think about an answer. And now,
that makes sense. Oh, geez. I would love to bring on guests from first season, like maybe some real good ones, like the ones that we really connect with. They're all great. All the guests were great.
Do you have any ideas? Do you think Jana Cole would be one we might consider?
I think we could consider Jana Cole. I mean, we've talked enough about her, right? As long as
this episode is just Jana Cole is the title. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited also to just kind of like switch things up a little bit in terms of what we focus on. I kind of want to, I'm looking forward to having this creation with you guys and really just revving up some of the excitement around specific topics, and also maybe getting really more in depth into some of those specific topics that we go into. So it's not necessarily just a one-off episode of this thing or a one-off episode of this thing. Maybe second season will have a little bit more depth and knowledge, and also just length of certain episodes kind of continuing, but maybe with different guests. Who knows? There's so many possibilities. So I'm just excited that there's so many possibilities, and I get to do it with you guys. What about you, Neha?
Well, for me, yeah, like you said, that we can do a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing is that, again, we all learn from whatever we did in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did great, but I'm sure there's a scope of improvement, even at our end, and even at the process that we follow, the protocol that we have for this podcast. So I just want, it has to be like, level up. That's it.
Yeah.
It has to be level up. So even when we just go ahead and just watch the episode, we should be like, okay, yeah, we have leveled up, right? So that is the only word that I have in my mind, that it has to be like a level up. That's it, Now, whatever it could be, again, like you said, Sasha, that it could be a particular theme that we are going to have with, or a target audience that we have, like Elia suggested once, right? We have to just make it more crisp and defined, because of course we cannot cater everybody over here in just one go. Yeah. So we have to even stop thinking around it, because it just confuses us as well, and then it gets overwhelming at times, right? So the whole thing is just making it very very crisp and very targeted. That would help us to just draw the entire picture, for that particular audience. So that's how I'm looking at. So yeah. Excited. What about you, Elia?
Yeah. What about you?
I'm just looking forward to editing,
Really?
Maybe get a new theme song. I don't know. Yeah. No, I just love, what I can't, I don't know. It feels like we had this little baby and we're like, okay, we figure it out. And, they say clunky is as good as it gets, right? Like, that's just kind of how life works. You sort of clunk along, hoping for the best. And some of us clunk prettier than others, right? Whatever, but it's all messy.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like there were definitely points where, even in the planning and organizational process, like for me, those systems felt at times a little clunky, and we figured it out. And I'm excited to see what options open up for us as we get ourselves more and more aligned in those ways. Kind of that behind the scenes stuff. For me, that's the exciting piece. I'm nerdy in that way. I want to see what the stuff behind the scenes can do for audience, what it can do for getting guests on board, what it can do for expanding the audience, how people experience this, and allow it to be what it is, because we don't want to produce a podcast purely about production and development, but we want to produce a podcast about being. And what does that look like? And sometimes that means you sit in a silly conversation to hear about the hearts and souls of people, right? So I think there's something just valuable in this next season of unpacking. Do we go a little longer on time? What kind of questions do we plan? And then what kind of openings do we leave? And just seeing, I think just a lot more exploration, because sometimes you just have to come up with something and do it. And so I think we came up with something awesome and did it. And now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
What now? That for me, I love the dreaming space. I absolutely love the dreaming space. So.
Me too. I think we all do. I think that's something that is connecting us us three. I think we are all very visionary in some ways. I think we have a lot of ideas, and I think that's why we work so well together. I think that we can bounce ideas off of each other and also not take it personal when maybe those ideas don't really jive, as much.
I have a list of times you've shot down my ideas.
Yeah, right. So really? Because I think so. I'm like probably
this psycho could have done it. No.
Oh man, I would have felt like real bad if that were the case. Like if that were really true. Like I'd be like, I'm out. Never mind.
You're
Season
just like
2.
that.
I'm not doing it.
No, I do think we have a good vibe together. I think it's a good energy. Hopefully you guys as an audience think it's a good energy. We want to hear from you. Obviously, this is our finale for this season.
Yeah.
We have more and more episodes on the horizon. We want to hear from you guys. You guys can catch us scattered throughout Facebook. You can see our names right here. Just shoot us messages, hit us up. We want to hear from you, connect with you, and keep your eyes open. The fall is kind of when we're shooting to show up again in your lives and in your inboxes. And until then, we're going to be organizing guests, get them on here, ask some meaningful questions. So if you have anything you want to hear and learn, let us know.
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's already started.
Yeah, I have a question. What should our audience should expect from you, Elia and Sasha? How would you be coming up for season 2? Are you going to just do have a different makeover, or would we be seeing something?
Sure.
No. Yeah, that's level up.
Maybe.
Right?
Who knows?
I have worked hard to establish a brand of a guy who wears hats and shirts. So I'm trying to just maintain the brand at this point. If people find issue with that, they can email my publicist, and so will let me know.
Love it. I don't really think I'm going to be changing much. I don't think, unless I get pregnant or something. I don't think that will happen. I don't know, big old Bailey.
She's like,
no.
dropping hints, like.
No pregnancy. Let's not. Not right now.
And then the rapid fire no.
No.
Oh gosh.
No.
All right, we gotta go.
No idea. I could go on and on, but we won't. I know. But yes, Neha, I don't think that there's really going to be much change in the way for me anyway with like my looks or anything. What about you?
Are you asking because you're planning to bring back the 90s mohawk? Like, what are we looking at?
I have no scope to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
And,
me too. I'm gonna lose weight too. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
I plan to gain weight.
Yeah, I don't want to gain weight for sure, right? But then, unless and until I get pregnant again. So I think the title of the episode would be that. Okay, is Neha and Sasha pregnant? And Email, what am I doing here?
We need another co-host. Lord, we need another co-host.
So it's possible. Stay tuned for season 2 to see who's pregnant.
I think, in season 2, we would be the way we are, hot and sexy, all 3 of us. The only difference is just we're going to be more prepared for,
totally.
That's how I see it. That's it. Otherwise we all are perfect. We know that. We 3 are just amazing. So
yes,
we're out here crushing the game.
It's been so fun, you guys. I am so happy. I'm so happy with the season 1. I'm so excited for season 2. I can't wait for you guys all that are listening to come back and listen to this next season. It's going to be so good. I just feel it.
It's going to be awesome.
Would you like to reveal to the audience that when are we planning for season 2?
I vaguely said fall, because that gives us the freedom to make sure we get everybody lined up. So when you see the leaves change, that's when you know.
Yeah.
International Coaches Roundtable Podcast Season 2 coming your way.
There's going to be a lot of changes. Really exciting. So excited. Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. And we will catch you guys before Santa gets here. See you guys then. Farewell.
Thank you.
See you at the table.
Bye.
Yes.